Ladies, please listen up. There's been a trend going around TikTok of women getting punched in the face, mainly by men in New York. Well, this phenomenon actually has a name, and it's not even new. The name's called the knockout game. The knockout game started, I would say, like around 11 years ago, and the objective of the game was to see who you can knock out in one hit, and the main target demographic were Caucasian people. Now it seems like the trend is starting to pick up again, but this time the target demographic is women.
I wanted to start with this or get the so-called experts out of the way. At least if you're gonna make a video like this, get your facts right. This so-called game started in 1992 and the last report was from 2020. And everyone was fair game. I know calling it a fair game was stupid, but due to the lack of better words, I'll own it. It happened to people in their 20s, it happened to a 72 years old. It happened to a Hispanic guy, it happened to a guy from Guatemala. But like I've said, we'll skip the so-called experts and we'll go to the women that went through it.
You guys, I was literally just walking and a man came up and punched me in the face. Oh my god, it hurts so bad. I can't even talk. Literally, I fell to the ground and now this giant goose egg is forming and I'm like, oh my god, it looks so crazy. So I just got punched in the face walking home. I was literally like leaving class. I turned the corner and I was looking down and I was looking at my phone and like texting, and then out of nowhere this man just came up and hit me in the face. I'm like actually in shock right now. I'm just like walking home because what else do you do? But I just texted my friends being like, hi, I just got punched in the face, and then they sent me a TikTok of this other girl in New York who got punched in the face and she was looking at her phone, and I don't know if this is like a thing that's going around, but I guess if you're in New York right now and you're walking while looking at your phone, maybe don't do that. Maybe head on a swivel. I guess we're gonna be super aware of our surroundings.
As you should be at all time, not just because this happened. She did post an update and we'll watch it.
I did talk to a police officer and kind of bummed out about that in hindsight because I wanted to file a report, but he told me, he was really nice, honestly, but he told me that the two options were either get in his car and we drive around and try to go find this man and arrest him. And at that point, like, I was uncontrollably sobbing and I didn't want to do that. I also had no clue where this man just went and I didn't want to just like endlessly drive around. The second option was file a report, but he told me if we did that, he would have to call an ambulance to check me out. And I straight up said I can't pay for an ambulance. Like, I'm a broke fashion student. That's not an option for me. And he was like, well, that's it. I've since learned from TikTok that that was not true and I can still file a report without having an ambulance called. So I'm going to do that. Thank you guys again so much for all this information. It's actually been so helpful. Honestly, the scariest thing to me is that so many girls have reached out.
And so many more will because you were sobbing and you didn't want to spend the next 10 minutes trying to find the guy. If he was on foot and you saw the direction he was heading, it could have taken even less than 10 minutes. And I'm not diminishing anything you've been through, I'm just saying you could have had the chance to stop him from doing this to other women. At least you decided to file a police report, so that's a plus, I guess. Even though, if I'm completely honest, that police officer didn't seem too helpful.
I'm like shaking, trying to tell this story, but if you know me, I don't share my personal life on the internet, especially things that are traumatic, but too many videos have been made about what's going on for me not to speak out. I was punched in the head in New York City on Saturday, March 23rd. In Times Square. I was walking out of the Times Square station, train station, and a random man came up and punched me in the head. Thankfully, I'm not as hurt as the girls that you've seen, the videos that you've seen. I'm a little bit sore, but thank God it wasn't worse than that. But it was definitely a traumatic experience, and it's something that is going to stick with me for the rest of my life now. But I can't believe that this is happening. I have a video of the guy because when I ran away from him, there were these three women on the street that helped me. Shout out to those moms from Connecticut. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm so grateful that you guys were there at the moment because I don't think I could have done that alone. But I turned around at the moment and he was running after me, and he ended up just like walking down the avenue, and I ended up taking a video.
Going by the previous lady description, chances are, and there are quite big chances, that this is the same guy. And we'll have a look at the police report in case it will help anyone.
I'm going to put it right here in the video.
This is the wanted post for the man that assaulted me on Saturday, March 23rd. Please, anyone that sees this man, report it to 911. Call the numbers that are on the wanted post and report it to them too. You know, anywhere that you see him, give as much description as possible. The more that the cops hear about this man and where he is, the higher the chances are that they're going to catch him.
I literally just got punched by some man on the sidewalk. He goes, sorry, and then punches me in the head. What the hell just happened? Oh my god.
I'm not really sure what's wrong with you, but you're way too happy for having that just happening to you.
My first real hate comment.
That's so...
I don't know a single man who would say something like that. Maybe they do exist, I just don't know them. And yet we have a lady that thought this would be an appropriate thing to say. Okay, in his defense, you do have a very punchable face. Lady, you need to have your head checked.
As a woman, I mean, there's like, I've seen 13 girls get punched in the face in New York today on TikTok.
And Brianna, why is that the case, do you think? What has changed so much so over the past 1 to 2 years that hasn't happened before? This is like, I think like the third or the fourth video that I've seen from content creators making comments about how dangerous New York City has become and how they're just so confused over what's happened because New York City never used to be like this over the past 10 to 15 years, and it's just changed so much, and like it feels like women are getting attacked and it's just so much more dangerous. I know the answer and the reason why, but do you guys understand why? Someone leave it in the comments, please.
Well, maybe defunding the police had something to do with it. I will know, I don't live there. I can only guess, so I'm not going to. Anyway, those were my 2 cents on the matter. If you disagree with anything I've said, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.